means family.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze.
My friends, it is me, Jay.
And Andrea.
And it is so nice to be back. I feel warm and fuzzy. Andrea, how do you feel?
I'm a little cold, but I've got a space heater going.
Yeah,
so
you do.
I will be warm and fuzzy soon.
So, for those of us just joining, this is the Disney Plus Us podcast, a podcast dedicated to the Disney Plus streaming service. We cover news, we cover rumors, we cover all the little dirty tricks you can find on Disney Plus, but also
We are watching every single Disney, starting all the way back at the beginning with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and working our way forward through time. Today, we are dedicating this episode to watching
Mulan.
Not the live action.
No.
The original animated feature.
Yes. How exciting. It's been forever and a day since I've seen Mulan.
I'm excited for it.
This is going to be a good ep. I hope everybody is saddled up, buckled in, because wowza is all I'm going to tell you.
But first, before we get to Mulan, Jay,
what?
How are you?
Oh, thanks for asking. You know, I've always kind of given little positive puffs or excited things. Well, okay, two things I'm really excited for. Monster Hunter Rise comes out on the Nintendo Switch, and I cannot wait. It is a video game that it's just like you hunt these giant mammoth monsters and you harvest their carcasses to build up more weapons and armor, and you just repeat the cycle. And that's it.
Wow.
But you can do it online, and it's fun.
Wow.
But,
so that comes out soon, right?
Yeah, Friday. Odds are it's going to be out by the time
this episode's
airs.
released. Okay.
So you won't get another episode for a while. No, I'm kidding.
Jay will be doing that exclusively.
Hunter.
Sorry, Jay's work. Jay's playing Monster Hunter.
Oh my gosh. And the other life update, our cats now hate each other.
I know, it was weird. It was like a switch flipped, and so we have to like keep them separated and then slowly reintroduce them to each other.
Such a pain.
Ugh.
The burden of being a cat owner.
It's people tell you cats are easy, not our cats. We must be doing something wrong.
Andrea, how are you?
Jay, I am devastated.
What?
You know why?
No.
I had hidden in the freezer.
Oh, come on.
A pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Yeah.
That I had purchased on a solo trip to the grocery store and hidden for my enjoyment alone. Today, I went to said freezer, to the pre-arranged secret hiding place of my secret ice cream, and it was mostly eaten and not by me. Yes, dear listeners, it was Jay.
Okay, before the sob story and the letters come in, I'm going to tell you, you hid in quotes the ice cream in the place ice cream literally lives. Like, for all I knew, we forgot to eat it. I don't know. Oh, like an ice cream. Okay. It was delicious. I didn't eat all of it out of consideration. So, teamwork.
And it's not that I don't like to share. It's just that Jay has a much larger mouth than I do.
Bite capacity.
And bite capacity. So a Jay-sized bite equals like 4 Andrea-sized bites.
Yeah.
Which means it takes a lot more ice cream to satisfy Jay.
That's how it is.
Sometimes, I just want my own thing sometimes.
That's understandable. You could have told me that. You didn't have to secretly throw that in either. You could say, "Yeah, this is an Andrea pint."
It's all right. I can buy more.
Oh, thank you.
I'll hide it in a different spot.
In the freezer.
In the freezer.
Oh, funny. Okay. Big Disney Plus Us news. We officially have a YouTube channel. I know.
I think you told him that.
It was an end thing.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I want them to know
You want
this.
to talk about more. Okay.
I want to elaborate.
That's cool.
So the Disney Plus Us YouTube channel only offers one thing, and that is this podcast. Right now, you're not going to get any special art. You're really not going to get
videos.
No videos.
You don't get to see what we look like.
No live streams.
We're very handsome and beautiful.
Oh, just knock your socks off.
But you don't get to see it.
Just, listen to our voices, really.
Ha.
Okay.
But yeah, it's out there. So if you want a different way to listen to our podcast or share it with people,
exactly,
you can do so.
And here's the big kicker. This is probably the easiest way to communicate with us. So if you leave a comment, I'm going to be able to see it and talk about this.
What if all we get are mean comments?
Well, that's why, no pictures or live streams or... No, I'll block you.
We're not inviting ridicule.
I will literally block anything, mean-spirited.
Unless it's constructive criticism.
I'm okay with criticism, but also, if it's just hellacious YouTube comments that normally happen because of social media, I'm just going to go, meh, and not tell you about it. So,
but otherwise, it's a great way for us to hear from you all. So
yeah. Why not try it? I'm a 21st century type of guy.
You are.
I am.
I always think of you that way.
Every morning I say, Jay, you're 25th century, 25th century. Oh.
Duck Rogers. Okay, so I think it's time to actually get into the... Do you have anything else to share with our lovely... let's get into the news.
Boy. Yeah, Andrea. I know they talk about the news.
Okay, so the very first thing to talk about is the secret of Sulphur Springs. Sorry, my autocorrect. We watched this today over dinner because...
The first episode.
We eat dinner in front of the TV sometimes. And
because that's I don't know.
Whatever. That's what we do. So we decided to flip on The Secret of Sulphur Springs,
which is a live action Disney Plus miniseries. And
it's only 22 minutes per episode, so it's perfect for eating a dinner. You don't have to eat a dinner and then be sucked into a 2-hour movie. Or a 4-hour, what's the DC Justice League it wasn't Joss Whedon, but
what are you talking about?
You didn't hear about the guy? Sorry, this is a tangent to our news.
Okay.
But there is a big recut by the famous director.
Christopher Nolan?
No, he did the DC.
Cameron Diaz? No, what's his name?
Cameron Diaz?
No, what's the Titanic
Russell?
guy?
Leo?
No, the director.
No, it's not.
James Cameron.
It's not
That's
James Cameron. No, hold on, let me pull it up. It's 4 hours long, Justice, and it just came out on HBO Max, the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder.
I have no idea who that is.
Well... He's a pretty big deal director.
I'm sure he thinks he is.
Okay.
Don't at me, Zack Snyder.
Of all the
I'm going to get hate mail from this guy.
Why did we bring this up when I just plugged our YouTube page? I don't know.
You said we don't. Well, it's a short. Okay, back to Sulphur Springs.
Sulphur Springs. Okay. Sorry, the Zack Snyder cut. I didn't miss the payoff.
Yeah.
4 hours long.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it's not that.
Is it good?
I don't know. Mixed so far, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, back to Sulphur Springs. It's a short little 22-minute adventure done with, I'm going to say, a lower budget. Maybe not A-list actors. But did I have fun? Yes, I did. It's about a family who moves into a haunted hotel and learns about the city of Sulphur Springs. It really feels like a Erie, Indiana. I don't know if you've gotten into that show, but
Erie, Indiana?
Yeah, it was back when I was a kid on, I think it was Disney Channel, Erie, Indiana. It was kind of like a Goosebumps, only from Disney.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
Cool.
anyway.
So kind of a mystery. We watched the first episode. It was fine. We'll probably watch it again.
It's a safe, fun, like I want to watch.
For the children.
But I want to watch it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a lecture on the horrible parts of the world or human nature or.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't.
There's some serious conversations happening between the mom and dad.
Oh my gosh.
Because the dad just sold everything and moved him there, apparently without talking to his wife. So
Yeah, that's a
that
red
fight
flag.
is coming.
That's a red
Yeah,
flag.
that will come later, I'm sure.
Okay, so moving on. There is a new trailer about. It's called Big Shot.
Okay.
And this is a movie, and it stars none other than Uncle Jesse from Full House or Fuller House.
John Stamos?
John Stamos.
Man, that guy doesn't age.
Coaches here, they're expected to be role models.
Let's see Yvette Nicole
Do not
Brown.
screw this up.
Coach Marvin Korn is going from the NCAA to some fancy high school?
Personally, I think it's all a big mistake, but I'm prepared to make the best of it.
Holly Barrett, assistant coach.
Marvin Korn. Any advice?
These girls are going to lead the world someday.
Fall in?
Some of them can be a bit much.
I'm sorry, you chewing gum?
This is Westbrook. We won't respond to my way or the highway.
It's my job to help you improve. I'm going to teach you my system of basketball from the ground up.
Smaller steps, but faster.
Is the whistle really necessary?
Yes, it really is.
Okay, then. I figured it'd be rough, but this is next level. If we all just quit, they fire him. I think he wants to be a good person.
When they said you were coming, that meant something. I was excited.
All I care about is basketball. My dad, he sees me playing either at Stanford or UCLA. It's about making my father proud.
But after watching you play, I truly believe that we could do something special. But we're just getting started.
Oh, that would be a good boomerang. Do it again.
You're connecting with these girls.
Now stop it.
I just wanted to say thank you for caring.
John F. Kennedy said, we do this not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
That was about the moon.
If you try your very best, then you have the potential to be great. Let's go win a basketball game.
I'm excited.
Darn if that doesn't look awesome.
When is this? August 16th?
April 16th.
April 16th.
It's coming soon.
Wow.
Yeah, there's John Stamos. There's Yvette Nicole Brown. There's the gal who played the main guy's wife on Glee.
Oh.
Some of the high school girl basketball players, I recognize some faces in there. They blew their budget on this, getting some names in here.
They took
and some good folks.
They skimmed some budget from Secret of Sulphur Springs and kind of added it.
I don't know. It looks good. I'm in. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's high five to make sure it happens. All right.
All right. Big shot.
Big shot. I have another trailer, but I'll save it to the end of the news. I'm going to do a kind of a rundown of everything that's coming in April. So, there's one more bit of news I want to talk about before the rundown. And that is Black Widow and Cruellla are now coming to Disney Plus at the same time as theaters.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So dates got bumped. Things kind of jockeyed around.
Because not everybody's vaccinated.
I think so.
But enough people are vaccinated where they think they can get some theater.
Buckos.
Okay.
Which I heard Cruella is a hard PG-13.
Well, yeah, it'd have to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't murder puppies and put a PG rating on that.
I mean, I'm sure it will go there, but it doesn't have to.
Come on.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the art direction in that trailer.
It looks good.
Oh,
yeah.
That alone's worth at least $15 for me. Okay, so here's the rundown. Everything that's coming in April. We got The Big Year, Night at the Museum, Ewoks, The Battle for Endor, The Mighty Ducks Game Changers is out on Friday also. Same day as...
Which we haven't seen D3.
Oh, should we watch that soon?
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll have time.
Even though you said it wasn't as good as D2. I'm still going to watch it.
We have to.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll watch it and we'll postpone. We won't watch it first Friday, first day.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll make it happen. Okay. April 9th, we got the finale of Secret of Sulphur Springs. No, of season 1 finale. Mark Twain and Me. Mm-hmm. April 16th, we get Rio. And then April 23rd, Baby's Day Out. Everybody's been waiting on that one.
Yeah. I thought that movie was hilarious as a child.
Isn't that the one where a baby just like crawls around New York?
It's like slapstick humor. Like that's all it is. It's just physical mishap and mayhem.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was hilarious. We'll see.
April 30th, Adventures in Wonderland. Disney.
Is that the Johnny Depp one?
I think so. And I might have not seen it.
It's odd.
Adventures in Wonderland. Yeah,
it's not bad.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's just odd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disney Junior Mara, and then Oklahoma. Oh my gosh. Maybe not my favorite thing of all time. But, okay, so we do have one more trailer. And this is something that is now going to come to Disney Plus June 18th. It is from Pixar. Mm-hmm. It is a movie called Luca.
We can go anywhere, do anything. We just gotta stick together.
We underdogs have to look out for each other, right?
Underdogs! This is gonna be the best summer ever. We'll ride down every road. See the whole world together. It'll be amazing. One thing.
Whoa, wait! Did you see that?
No one can find out.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
Where did you boys say you were from?
I missed it. What's in the water?
They like grow fish fins and tails.
Oh, mer people.
So for those just listening, it was these two little boys, Italian boys.
Okay, I could hear it.
And they're riding their little scooter and they go into the water and bam, they've got fish tails. And so now they've got to keep it a secret from everyone.
So they don't get filleted.
Yeah.
Turned into rigatoni.
Be interested to see where that goes story-wise.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a gimmick.
Well, it's free on Disney Plus. Low barrier to entry.
Oh, okay. When does that come out?
It comes out, I think in June. Yeah, June 18th.
You may have said that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot diggity.
Huh.
Well, that's all the news I got, folks.
That's good news. Thank you.
Good news, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't come here for the news, even though you nicely sat through it like good little people.
Well, maybe they
students.
skipped ahead. We don't know.
Oh, then you're a jerk. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. I'm glad you're here. Mulan. That is why we're here. Mulan. What did you tell me? The world of Andrea in Andrea history. What did Mulan mean? Where were you? How'd you experience it? What's going on?
I just based on the year it came out, I remember seeing it in theaters. I remember liking it. But I don't feel like at that age that it had a huge impact on me necessarily. I'd feel like it was maybe one of a few movies I had seen where the woman was a kick-butt warrior. At that point in time, that was not a popular thing to put in movies. So in that way, I remember really appreciating that and enjoying that. Yeah. What about you?
You know, I remember, I'm still coming off the high of Hunchback. And I remember Mulan and really kind of like thinking this is going to be a good movie. I'm ready for some in-depth like gender roles, stereotypes, myth busted kind of things. I was, at that age where I'm okay, I'm ready for something more substance than, I don't know, a Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
And I went into the theater. I was very excited. I was telling my folks, I want to see this. I am pumped. My biggest criticism, and don't hold this against me.
Okay.
Was Mushu. I felt Eddie Murphy's little dragon was too annoying.
I liked Mushu.
I know, and everybody did.
It's hilarious.
I'm not saying, and maybe this time he'll hit for me, but at the time I was pining for something that was like, okay, here's the story, and then I'm sure a couple of his jokes landed, but then some of it I'm like, I'm tired of watching him. This little Eddie
You
Murphy
wanted the
dragon.
real story.
I want the story.
Yeah.
So,
so you like the live action Mulan where they cut out all the nonsense and the jokes and the songs and just told the story.
Well, and I liked the song, and I like the songs, and I didn't. Now that I've reflected enough on the live action, I didn't love how they made her a superhero, but yeah, I think somewhere if you watch both these movies, you might get the right Mulan experience.
Yeah. No, I remember watching this as a teenage girl, and this was like my first Wonder Woman experience.
Oh, really?
You know how so many women, when they watched the Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman movie, you just had this like, yes feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is just a female thing. I don't know. But I think I felt that. Maybe not quite as intensely, but I think I felt that when I saw this movie.
And would it be weird if I said I did too, even though I'm a dude?
That's okay, man.
I was like, she kicked butt.
Yeah.
I was very excited about Mulan and what she did.
Yeah.
That little lizard kind of got annoying. But that's just me.
Poor Mushu.
Poor Mushu. Okay. Shall we do some improv?
Let's do some improv.
Do you want to set this up?
Yeah, so Jay has brought his ukulele up to the improv scene, and I believe the setup was we're in a pitch meeting for the movie Mulan. No songs have been written yet, and so we're going to write some songs.
So I need you to play the movie producer.
Okay.
And you tell me the artist, a scene.
Okay. And you will write a song for it.
I'll write a song.
Okay. So our very first song that we need for this movie is when Mulan cuts her hair, takes her father's armor, and leaves home. She needs to sing a song as she's leaving her house quietly in the middle of the night.
All right, movie producer.
Yes. What do you have?
Okay, so here's what I came up with. Snip, snip goes my hair. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe into the silent air. Gonna strap on this armor so I do not become the family farmer. No, no, it's me, Mulan, the warrior. Thank you, thank you.
Oh my gosh, you just wrote that. That's hilarious. Okay. Jay, that was great. That was great. Okay, so later on in the movie, we find that Mulan is falling in love with her commanding officer. And they have a moment alone where they're talking together. And he walks away after they've had a good conversation, and Mulan sings a love song. I'd like to hear...
Okay, from her perspective as a girl.
As a girl pretending to be a guy in love with her commanding officer. Yeah.
Yes, producer? Excuse me. Yeah, I think I have a nice little love song.
Okay.
You're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to do my best to sound like a girl sounding like a guy.
Okay, yeah. We have voice actors, so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Let me find my key, sorry. That's it. This is not why I am here. No, but Bradley fills my heart like a warm beer. The smile on his face makes me feel so out of place. I might capture Bradley and we will vanish without a trace to a place I call forever.
Beautiful, just beautiful. That's going straight in the movie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shall we do one more?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, okay. So we have the climax of the movie. The Mongols have invaded the capital city of China. And Mulan has warned the soldiers and they've tried to intercept, but there's a big showdown at the end with the Emperor of China, the King of the Mongols, and Mulan. We need a big showdown song.
I see. Okay, just to be clear, I'm not necessarily a history buff, but I think I get what you're putting down.
Yeah,
here, okay?
yeah. Lots of feelings happening at this moment.
Producer.
Yes.
Hey, yes. Yo, I'm here. I have come up with something, a little ditty.
Okay.
That I feel captures the song. So it starts with a whistle. It's kind of sound effects. You can use them.
I like it. Yeah.
All right. Is it you? Is it me? I look into your chi. I don't see me. I see we. We three are free to be who we want to be. Let's not family. We deserve to love and laugh and be who we are meant to be. I am me. Mulan. That's me. A girl. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
I moved to tears.
Thank you.
Moved to tears. That was beautiful. Well, I think we've got all our music for the show that we need.
Oh, boy. Thank you.
And scene.
And scene.
Oh, man. That was awesome.
All right. How about we watch this trailer just to see maybe some of that music is in there.
I bet it's in there. Yeah. And not completely made up on the fly.
It's like a bunch of skeleton stones. Oh, it's Mulan. Okay. She's sneaking into this temple.
I've heard a great deal about you, Mulan. You took your father's armor. Yeah! Ran away from home. Impersonated a soldier. Endangered the lives of thousands of men. And destroyed my palace. But soon the world will know the great things you have done.
Mulan!
The greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter.
Interesting.
I'm excited.
They must not have had the actual music yet. They were still working it out in those meetings.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, because
naturally.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
I'm actually really pumped.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's time for the movie.
Which remote do we use again?
I'll get the popcorn.
There could be spoilers.
We'll be back in
4, 3, 2, 1.
And we are back.
We're back.
We just finished the movie Mulan. And just to make sure no listener is left unsatisfied, we brought in Mongolian experts, Casey and Matt, all the way from Pennsylvania, I believe. Welcome, guys.
That is correct. Hey, how's it going? Hello, everyone.
Glad to have you both here. So, we both watched Mulan this morning. Let's do initial reactions. How'd everybody like it?
I love this movie. It's my favorite. Actually, it's my favorite Disney movie. So it was very, very exciting to see it again. And also, the last time I saw this movie, I was getting the appendectomy, so I was in a lot of pain, appendicitis in the emergency room, and they wouldn't give me any pain medicine. So this has been a really nice experience to enjoy it without a 12 out of 10 pain.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm sure it's quite a different movie. Casey, how'd you like it?
I feel like watching this. So first of all, I loved it. I feel like watching this movie, I was like, this movie has something for everyone. Like it's if you like disrupting gender roles, if you like songs about being manly men, if you like songs about fitting in, if you like cute little crickets. I mean, this movie has everything, and it just brought me so much joy.
Yeah. Andrea?
Okay, I love this. It's been a while since I've seen it. The songs are great. The story's great. You've got some comic relief in there, which is sometimes good. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching this again.
And myself, I feel as worried as I was about Mushu, because I did not like Mushu when I was a kid, I really like him now. Like, he kind of proved himself. He wasn't just comic relief. There was purpose, there was strategy on behalf of Mushu, and his own little storyline. So I really did like Mushu much better when I was now versus a kid. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. Well, what do you say we get into the blow by blows? Let's tear this movie apart, but in
a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah. Okay, so the movie starts out and we see the Great Wall of China. We see grappling hooks come over the Great Wall of China, and a poor little Chinese soldier is running away from the Huns, who are climbing the wall and invading China. What do you think of this as the start to a movie? This is different than what we've seen, where there's some kind of like narrator giving
singing,
us backstory. Yeah. What do you think about this?
Man, I don't know. I guess it sets a tone. And one thing I did think while watching the movie as a whole is I was like, wow, these Huns, they're villainous. They're out for blood.
They're frightening.
Disney. Yeah, they really are. And Disney's like, yeah, these are rough guys. And they kind of established that right away.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it was very obvious who the bad guys were, who the good guys were, and you didn't really even need to know the whys and the intricacies about the war, other than there's a war. And ooh, gross. Those mean-looking gray people are the bad guys.
They were so gray. Like, I was worried about their health. Like, get some vitamin D or something.
But it is. It's like the first time you see Darth Vader. You don't even need to know the story. You know who the bad guy is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it definitely set a different tone for starting the movie. It's the imminent danger of these guys who look scary are coming. So then we cut to a completely different setting. Mulan is getting ready for the day and getting prepared to go meet the matchmaker. And we have a song in there as well. I think it's called Bring Honor to Us All, or You'll Honor to Us All, something like that.
Honor to Us All. It is my second favorite song.
Oops. I was about to say this one did not ring a bell for me.
What? Okay. Well, listen. This maybe it struck joy in my little like teenage gay heart, or preteen gay heart whenever this movie came out, because I was like, yes, let's get a montage of girls getting fancy and like getting all gussied up. I'm here for it.
Well, what I like about the song too is it's sort of a lighthearted and comedic way and of really setting the rules of society, like the rules of society that Mulan is going to have to eventually break. So it really does a good job of, I think, setting up the framework that Mulan will be struggling with, later on in the story.
Yeah, there were some definite struggles she didn't necessarily want to go to the matchmaker. She was told. She didn't study. She wrote stuff on her arm. It was kind of like going to the dentist for her.
One of the things I really like about this song and this whole getting ready montage is we get little glimpses of real Mulan. Like, you see her stop, two old guys are playing some strategy board game and she makes a good move. And like a little kid is stealing a toy from someone else and she makes him give it back. And the dog at the beginning, she has figured out a way to get the dog to feed the chickens for her. So you see all of these hints that she is a special person. But meanwhile, the actual rules of society, she is just utterly failing at. So I like that contrast that we see. So then we get to the disaster at the matchmaker. This very like physical comedy scene. Casey and Matthew, what do you guys think about this scene?
It's a very classic, cascade of events that really, of course it's going to end in disaster. And so no, I thought it was a great, a great.
If someone has never done drag as the matchmaker, I implore them to do it. I will tip you. It will be a fantastic set. Please, someone do a drag number as the matchmaker.
As the matchmaker. Okay, so then we have the song where she comes back and she's failed at the matchmaker spectacularly and sings the song Reflection. Jay, thoughts?
I'm trying to remember how Reflection went.
Who is that girl I see?
What was she doing? Oh,
why is my reflection someone I don't know?
That's right. Yeah.
And she's wiping her makeup off her face.
Yeah. Well, and I think that mirrors, to be a somewhat punny, kind of the overall point is that Mulan was being forced to put on makeup, put on a face that she was not ever meant to wear. She was forced to do this ritual of somebody who she wasn't. Meanwhile, the other side of her face without the makeup is the Mulan that can, put the chicken feed on the dog, can be creative and funny and like be the Henri Mulan who she is. And I think the struggle is between who she is and who society tells her to be. And that's not drilled home, but it's told in a very elegant manner that even as a child, I think I picked up.
Yeah, it's really, again, it's really well done. And I think that probably anyone in any sort of setting, like who's felt like, there's an obstacle in their way that society sets on them. I think that it just speaks to so many people on so many levels. It's just great.
So then we have the scene where every man or one man from each household is drafted into the army, and the only man in Mulan's household is her father, who was a warrior but has been wounded and is clearly not really fit to go back into battle. He's got a limp, but he's drafted, and Mulan ends up seeing that he's not fit to go back to battle, and ends up cutting her hair, taking his armor, and going in his place.
I have a question for you two, which is you've been through the Disney movies in order, basically, in chronological order that they came out. Is this the first time that we really have a woman character who is about to fight? Like typically we've had female like heroes and heroines. But most of the time the fighting has been done by whatever man they end up having in their life. Is Mulan the first one to kind of break that trend?
In my opinion, yeah. And there's a lot of stories that are really light on the violence. This is the first one that I'm like, here's a war scene. Here's a battle. Here's a field full of dead soldiers. Like, that felt pretty new territory for Disney. I know characters like Esmeralda from Hunchback, where she's kind of a kick butt girl and wasn't afraid to sock it to a stray soldier. But as far as like, hey, I'm here for battle, I think maybe
this might be the first one
that
I can think of. Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about Meg during Hercules, and she was kind of the person with the real struggle and ended up being the real hero of that story. But she wasn't fighting in the traditional sense. So yeah, this is kind of the first instance, and maybe one of the only instances that I can remember, except for some of the few more recent movies like Raya, where you see women actually fighting.
Yeah, it was just something I thought of while we were watching it. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if this was like a big turning point for Disney.
I know there was discussion about this scene, that they had like a song originally to go with this scene where she cuts her hair and takes the armor, and then they finally decided that they were going to do it. No dialogue, no song, just music.
Now, here's what bothered me. the music they chose was this weird 80s synthesizer, and I did not remember that at all. And so it kind of took me by surprise that, like, yeah, this weird keytar was playing as she was cutting off her hair, which is ultimately one of I would say the crown ship like scene, transitional scene of the movie.
It's a badass scene, like
and,
the whole
just odd scoring there.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because I think we were talking about the character of Mulan and how she's different. I mean, I think they had to do something because one of the things I was thinking is the archetypal heroine story in the modern Disney genre. You know, you have a woman who really doesn't quite fit, but that makes her somehow the hero. You know, like Ariel or Belle, Pocahontas. They're like a little off, right? But that offness makes them the hero, and they have the same thing with Mulan. But I do think, we talk later, but I do think Mulan is slightly different from them. Yeah.
That's a really interesting point, that Disney really loves showcasing and telling stories about the people who are off, that don't quite fit. And yeah, we do see that over and over again. I'm interested though, like Mulan, she's different in that her actions are maybe a little more extreme than some of the other characters we've seen.
No. I was just gonna say, and I think what's, Mulan doesn't, her goal isn't love, her goal, or love, or romantic love. I mean, it's love definitely for her family, but yeah, I mean, it's not like she's doing all this and her reward is romantic love, really. Yeah, I don't know, she just seems more independent from men for some reason.
They kind of slapped in at the end, like, "Hey, here's your boy prize" at the like last scene,
which was not necessary, I don't think.
Yeah, it didn't need to be there, but other.
If you get a boy prize, you don't turn it down.
Yeah, but there's no romance, there's no kiss, there's no, it's just awkward talking.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
So speaking of awkward talking, the ancestors awaken and Mushu appears to Mulan. So Mushu is this little dragon played by Eddie Murphy, and he somehow works for the ancestors and the weird ancestor ghost house who looks over the family.
And originally he was a guardian, but up on the top shelf, but he was demoted for some reason. Looks like he got a guy killed.
Yeah.
One of the ancestors died because of him. So he's demoted and he's sent to awaken the great dragon. He accidentally breaks the great dragon instead. And so now he's got to go like help Mulan succeed, or he's
in toast. Yeah, he's toast.
Oh God. I love that scene. I was laughing so hard. It's just, the writing in it is just, it's great. It's really well done.
How did you like Mushu? I realize he's polarizing to some. What's your read on that, like 1'5", big mouth, tiny dragon character?
That's a good question. I mean, I remember not loving him as a kid, but not like thinking he was the worst either. I think as a character, Mushu is great, and Eddie Murphy obviously does a great job voicing him. I wonder what Mushu would be like with a different voice actor. Not to take anything away from Eddie Murphy, who did a great job, but I'm wondering, like, with a different voice actor, what choices would have been made, and would it make the character even more endearing, or possibly would it make the character more annoying?
Yeah, I think as far as sidekicks go, he's not the worst. Like, he's got some good one-liners in there.
So Mushu takes Mulan, now dressed as a man, to the camp where all men must go to help fight for China. And
gives her terrible advice.
Terrible. And as a man, maybe I should be a little offended on here. He says, okay, now you need to blend in with a man. Punch him on the shoulder. That's how they say hello. Slap him on the butt. That's a good thing. Spit on the ground all the time. And I can take it with a grain of salt. That was kind of funny. I enjoyed the stereotype. But at the same time, if we're going to be talking about gender roles and perceptions, this was a pretty harsh look at man.
I think it was done on purpose because they all have kind of the same view of women as, hey, we got to fight for these women because they look nice and they cook really well. The men in the camp are also kind of put in that box, but then they're allowed to be individuals, and she starts to see them as individuals instead of this like, these disgusting men. So I think that's kind of a contrast to the movie that maybe they did on purpose.
Yeah, and I think too, like, without getting too like into the weeds or like philosophical with it or anything, like, the people who are holding control in this sort of societal norm thing, in this culture, that we're seeing is the men, and so there's criticism there, but it's done in a pretty lighthearted way, where we can kind of laugh at it. Whereas I think if it were on the other foot, if you're if you're critical of not the ones in control and not the ones in power, then that's a different story, and maybe offense can be taken. Disney's obviously trying to put forward some great ideas here about equality and again, gender roles. But it's done in a very accessible, lighthearted way. So
I can take it. I wasn't that offended.
My favorite was the guy picking between his toes with chopsticks.
Oh my God.
You've seen me do that 1,000 times. Okay, so we're gonna zoom ahead, and we get maybe the apex, the master song, "I Will Make a Man Out of You." So the group sees Mulan.
She doesn't make a very good first impression.
No, she doesn't. She's kind of the butt of everybody's problems. Her fitting in is not working. And then "I'll Make a Man Out of You" happens.
The best training montage. Maybe up there with the Rocky training montage. Like, this is amazing. This
definitely.
whole grouping of scenes.
I love this song. It's my favorite song in the whole movie. I mean, Matt will attest, as we were watching it, I'm like, I want to run. I want to do like martial arts that I don't know how to do. Like, this song hypes you up so much. And I love it so much. I want it on my workout playlist. I want to go to the gym and listen to this song.
Want to go climb a pole with 2 weights on me.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's go.
What I really love about this also is that she doesn't start out amazing and strong, but she's also kind of in the same boat as the other guys who are also struggling. And you see them all kind of improve together, and you see her like really start to excel in this environment. That's cool. I would contrast that with the live action, where she kind of already starts with superpowers. And I like the cartoon approach better, where she's just a normal girl trying to do the best she can, and she gets strong.
Yeah.
I like that a lot better. I think that's a lot more inspirational than, oh, you're special, you have superpowers.
Yeah, I would think so. Having not seen it, I mean, again, the ability for people to relate to the characters is very important in any story. And if you start off with like you're already like a foot or two ahead in the race by having like innate superpowers, then again it requires us to take an extra step to relate to you.
Yeah. Whereas I watched this and I'm like, I can go running. I can get strong. If Mulan did it, I can.
So next we get to maybe one of the most obvious scenes, the highest drama gender issue, and that is taking the bath in the lake. Mulan did not want to stink like the boys. She hopped into that lake butt naked, and Mushu, the dragon, was like, "Are you crazy?" And she's like, No, it will be fine. Thus starts the stampede of men, naked men, running into the lake, and she has to like sneakily get out of the lake without them seeing her.
Yeah. I thought this was kind of a racy scene for Disney.
After the lake scene, we get A Girl Worth Fighting For, the song.
Oh, wait, you skipped something.
Oh, did I?
Mushu and the cricket forge a note.
That's right.
And get on a panda and deliver the note to get their part of the army moving to go join the other army.
Instead of China having the Pony Express, one could say they have the Panda Express.
Oh. I don't know. Something about that scene on the panda was just so bizarre and hilarious.
Anyway. But it's convenient. It's perfect timing because previously in the movie we saw the Han army encounter 2 Imperial scouts. And then, so they kill one of the scouts cold-blooded, and then they find out that the Imperial army is at the Shangtao Pass, which is the quickest way to the Emperor. So they're going to ambush them. So it's sort of like if without Mushu and the cricket intervention, it never would have gone. It would have been.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I thought I was very impressed with the intervention that happened, and this kind of brings in some of the darkest part of the story, in my opinion. This battle, seeing the burned down village, seeing the doll that was left over, and the leader's son or dad died. I forget his.
The
general's
got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a very heavy, you kind of felt we were having fun during this montage. We're talking about, let's all jump in the lake naked kind of thing. But this kind of brings this humbling, like, we're at war and we could die tomorrow kind of thing.
Yeah, they do a nice job of raising the stakes. Like every once in a while we'll flash back and see what the Huns are doing. And usually it's nothing good. It's like killing scouts and threatening people, burning down villages. So they do a good job of, this is all fun and games, but then wait a minute, this is serious business. People are getting killed.
Yeah, and I think I thought it was a beautiful scene too, where to honor the general, it's Shen, right? Shang puts the sword and the helmet down, and then Mulan follows right after with a little doll. And I thought it was just, I don't know, I just thought it was a really poignant scene. Like, the Shang is remembering the men who died in battle, but it's almost like Mulan is remembering the innocents and the women who are killed too, who she would, I don't know, it just feels like she's related to a different part of the war that the army would forget.
I don't think I've ever really noticed or picked up on that, but that is so poetically beautiful.
Yeah, it says something about, like, when you do have a cross section of people, when you have diversity, they may see things that like Mulan is seeing the civilians and the innocents that maybe the traditional army didn't see.
So the clan pretty much goes from that scene straight to the mountain scene. And this is where there's a lot of snow. They're at the peaks of mountains, and suddenly the Huns just fall down over the top of the mountain, heading down towards the troops that Mulan's in. The guys are panicking. They're ready to go into battle. They're fighting what looks to be an impossible battle. And Mulan gets the great idea to steal a rocket or a Chinese exploding device, I don't know, and launch it not at the general, rather at the peak of a mountain, creating a giant avalanche that just kind of freezes everybody. I thought that was a brilliant move, even as a kid. Even now, I'm like, good going. Way to use your resources.
Because they were vastly outnumbered. They were all going to die. And she, with that brain power, she saved them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another scene. I always feel like it's another scene where her cunning like takes over. Even, I mean, back to training, like she figured out how to do the weights and climb the pole. And, you know, even before then, the checkers, she got that. I mean, she's a smart cookie, you know, and smarter than the men around her. And this is just one of the times where it saves them all.
No, I was going to say, so I was really curious. So I looked it up. The rocket that she used, I'm going to butcher the Chinese. I probably shouldn't even try, but it's like Hualong Shui. And I know that's going to be terrible for anyone out there who actually speaks Chinese. I apologize. But apparently it's a fire dragon issuing from the waters, the literal translation. And it was a multi-stage rocket and early ballistic cruise missile used in post-classical China.
So those are historical.
Yeah, there's a tiny little Wikipedia article about it, and there's an illustration, and weirdly the illustration actually looks a little bit like Mushu.
Awesome. Huh. Some inspiration there probably from the animators.
Good job, Disney. They did their homework.
So in the hubbub of an avalanche, she ends up saving the general.
Well, he's
what's his rank? Is he general?
I think he's a captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
She saves the captain. It's a life debt. I owe you my life, Ping. Thank you.
I always find the scene funny, how the rope is too short to start out with, but then like at the second part, the rope just seems exceedingly long, ridiculously strong.
Holds a horse.
Wait, we need to describe the scene. What's happening here?
Over a crag.
Well, so Jay, in the scene, first of all, like they fire a rope to try and like catch Mulan and Shang, who are on a horse and about to go over a cliff on the avalanche. What Matt was describing where it's too short is basically like they're like, oh no, we don't have enough rope, and the guy tries to catch it and he doesn't. But then at some point they get a hold of this rope. Mulan, Shang, and the horse.
They go over the cliff.
Have already gone off the cliff. Somehow they've caught the rope, and they're now hauling them up, which is the first time that physics is, at least in my mind, that physics is really completely defied here. There's a second time, which I will point out later, but it's still, you know, it's a good scene. It's great, you know. Sometimes we have to suspend, our disbelief to enjoy the story.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I was going to say they also have the whole sequence where Mushu is sledding down looking for Mulan, and he's pulling up what look like tufts of grass, and it's actually like Hun heads. And he pulls up their head and they like scream, and then he shoves them back down.
So good.
Yep. So yeah, Mulan has saved the day. Everyone's safe because of her, but she, in the process of the battle, has been sliced with the Hun leader's scary-looking sword. And so she's wounded. She passes out. Bam! They figure out she's a woman.
Because of the medical tent.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure they've like
off armor,
stripped off her shirt and everything, and they're like, oh shoot. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. She's a woman. Kill her.
And it kind of came out that way. You know, once that it was known that she was a woman and she lied and she did everything deceivingly without honor, he says, life for a life. My debt is paid.
That's some cold words right there.
Coming from the captain.
Yeah. I don't know that I have anything to say about this scene. Like,
I was gonna say, I'm not sure that I do either. I'm just sort of like, yeah, when people, you know, draw lines in the sand, and you know, it doesn't matter like how good the logic is, or the reasoning against why those lines should be crossed sometimes. When those lines are drawn, like sometimes people react very strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it displays the absurdity of the rule that this person who just saved all their lives is now supposed to be killed according to the law.
Yeah, I mean, I don't obviously know tons about, 11th to 16th century Chinese law, but I always did think it was interesting that the counselor guy was like, high treason. I was like, high treason. I was like, that's a pretty hefty crime. Like, yeah, and also how.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't quite understand the use of this term, but he did kind of tend towards being a little hyperbolic. So whatever.
Well, I mean, I think it's it's the culture. It's out of culture context. But yeah, I mean, in the Confucian tradition, relationships are sacred. So and your role in them is sacred. So to defy a relationship or to break out of a relationship role is not, it's not only a secular violation, but almost a sacrilege. So
interesting. We flash cut to China. The group is
the Imperial City, right?
Is that the Imperial City?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the Imperial City, and it's just a mob of people. And let's call them 5 battle warriors we all have learned to love are walking down, including the captain, in a parade, getting praised because they stopped the Huns with an avalanche.
But they don't look very happy.
They don't look happy.
They didn't actually do it.
Meanwhile, Mulan, who's about to go home, realizes the avalanche did not stop the Huns.
Stop most of them.
Most.
Yeah.
But they're still a group coming after them to the Imperial City. And this sets up the most final epic scene of the whole movie.
I always think the Shangtao Pass is going to be a smelly spring. You know what I mean? And all the snow melts.
Yeah, that would be an awkward. Those aren't spring daisies.
But no, I think this epic scene is this is where it all starts. And I have to admit, this is my favorite villain, and I don't know why. Maybe because there's like a shred of loyalty to the people that he to his soldiers or something. But yeah, they think they've won, and all of a sudden the ominous hawk comes, takes the sword, and then everyone jumps out of the dragon, and here we go. I don't know. I just think it's a great scene.
It was very surprising. So without almost 2 minutes, the Emperor gets captured. Then we have Mulan trying to warn him, and because she's a woman, no one listens to her. A battle pretty much starts, and it is up to Mulan to rise up and save the Emperor. And she kind of takes charge of the battalion and says, here's how instead of trying to break this gate down to get to the Emperor, let's go about it a different way. And so they, for some reason, dress up as girls. And then...
Okay, yeah. I pointed out to Matt, I was like, she's like, we don't have time. Let's go. And I was like, but they have
to the beauty salon.
I was like, they have enough time to grab some dresses and do face, which really just drives home the point. There's always time to do your eyebrows. There's always time. There's always time to look good.
It's time to look good. Yeah, I pointed that out too. She's like, they'll never get there in time, but then they take all the time to get all dressed up. But yeah, she proposes a different way to get up there that's quicker, uses the knowledge they've gained in training to climb up the poles,
the pillars,
and they don't have to smash down the door to do it, which was taking too long.
Yeah, and admittedly, it kind of is a way that they can put on her shoes. They're in her perspective, where now they are embodying gender roles that are different from how they identify. And so yeah, it is like I actually love it. You know, I love the fact that these like soldiers and big burly men are now like dressing as women. Yeah, it's great. And again, it's fun, but now they're seeing from her perspective as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought there was some yin and yang in that situation. Yeah, it was kind of a nice little homage to what Mulan had to go through in a small way.
Well, it was their way of showing support for her. But also, if they show up as women, no one's going to view them as a threat.
Exactly.
Oh, before we get too far, though, I wanted to point out what I mentioned earlier was my second gripe about the law of physics, which is they pick up this enormously giant stone statue to try and ram the door, but there's only like 8 dudes like manning this thing.
Yeah,
like, this thing is easily the size of like a small house. And there's just like 8 dudes that are like, yeah, we got this. Yeah. Let's just like ram this thing into the door. Whatever. It was just something I thought was funny when I was watching it. I was like, that thing is massive. How are they picking it up?
In my brain went to, that thing should have worked. What's on the other side here?
An interesting thing, and this is maybe a side note, but the thing I've noticed about Mulan's strategy and battle tactics, a lot of times it seems like the army and some of the men in the army want to apply brute force to something. Either like, I'm going to just brute force my way up the pole, I'm going to shoot as many cannons as possible at these people and that will just kill them, or I'm going to smash down the door. And her approach is always more finesse. Like, I'm going to use these weights to interlock and help pull me up, or she's looking at it from a different point of view. It's not just brute force and hope that works. Because she doesn't have brute force behind her, she has to think like that. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting.
Absolutely. So Mulan pretty much saves the day from this point on in the movie. She launches the mean bad guy Hun into fireworks, a firework like explosion room, tower, and she saves the Emperor, becomes a hero. Like, the Emperor almost doesn't know. Well, the Emperor knows what to do. It's his little henchman that's like, high treason, this woman is here, and the Emperor ends up bowing to Mulan, causing a ripple effect of everybody to bow to Mulan, and then pretty soon the crowd just one by one, they all just bow, or row by row bow to Mulan. And so it was this really giant payoff of respect for Mulan, who went through much more hardship than any of the men.
It's definitely a moment in a movie that like just gives you the chills. You're like, oh, like all these people, all these important people are bowing to the unlikely hero. It happens in Lord of the Rings too. Like, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, at the very end, like, it's all these people from like these mighty kingdoms that end up bowing down in respect to like 4 hobbits. It's cool and it's awesome, and it just gives you like, there's so many points in this movie that just like make you go like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I felt that too. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the heart of what makes Mulan so great. I think more than like most heroines or any heroes, Mulan has like she's fighting against this like society and the system of rules, and the Emperor comes down and names every rule she has broken, and yet she saved the Empire. And so it's just and then the Empire honors her for it. So I don't know, it's just this really cool paradox that sometimes you have to break the rules to keep the law, or to do the right thing, and society, like the Empire, recognizes that. Yeah, I mean, she did things awful, but we have to honor her because in the end of the day, because she took the risk of breaking our rules, she saved us all. And I don't know, that's a very powerful statement for any day, really.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then the final scene, Mulan returns home to her sad-looking dad alone by a tree. And gives her sword of the evil jerk that she defeated and the emperor's medallion he gave her, or the crest, to prove that, you know, she was a war hero. He immediately puts him down on the ground and gives Mulan a hug because he would rather have her home than have those things, you know, the prestige.
I think in this moment, what you see in terms of the hierarchy of values, at least for this movie, as well as for this character, is love is worth more than honor. Like, she's brought honor, like it's there in front of him, like a huge honor. And again, what really matters is not the honor, but the love that he has for her as his daughter.
Well said. I completely agree with you. And this is where she gets, what we call it, the man prize. Then we get the captain.
No, the boy prize.
The boy prize. The captain.
The man gift.
Yeah. The captain comes by.
Comes a calling and stays for dinner.
You forgot your helmet. And can I stay for dinner? And pretty much scene. That's the end of the movie. So, if it's okay with you guys, I would love to do my favorite part of this podcast, and it's the princess scale. Leadership, morality, fashion sense, singing, and X Factor.
The Disney princess's 5-point princess score is...
Okay, so what we have are 5 categories: leadership, morality, fashion sense, singing, and X Factor. And we'll each rate Mulan on each of these and plug her in to a computer and see where she lies. So the scale.
You should never rate women. But we're going to do it right now.
But we're doing it. So we're using a 1 to 5 scale. I guess maybe 0 to 5 if you really hate something. 5 being the best, 1 or 0 being the worst. Leadership. I'll start it all off. Everybody can, rate as we go. Leadership, I'm going to give her a solid 4. She had a plan. She saw it to the end. And at the very end is, I think, during the final scene in the Empire City, that's when her leadership skills were in biggest flux. She led her crew. She got them dressed up as women. She had a plan. She saw it out. That was very impressive. And I think that's the payoff for Mulan. What do you guys think?
I think 5, but
I think 5 as well.
Yeah, I was also going to give her a 5. She was not in a position of leadership at all throughout this movie. Yet by being inspiring, by working hard, she earned the respect and trust of everybody in her unit, to the point where even when they found out she was a woman, they were following her and doing what she suggested they do. That's not easy, and she kind of kicked butt.
Morality. Casey, what do you think morality for Mulan?
Well, I'm going to say it depends on how you define morality. I'm going to give her a 5 because, again, like, if you're taking the long view, she self-sacrificed, right? She put herself at risk in order to save her father. She did everything out of selflessness. Like, there was never any point that she was trying to put herself forward or make her own destiny better. Like, she wasn't seeking anything for herself. And so I'm going to give her a 5. The only people who might give her less, I'm going to just throw it out there, is like people who are like, no, well, she shouldn't have broken the rules of society. Like, and again, maybe you can make an argument that that's part of morality, but I'm giving her a 5, and I'm going to stand by that.
Yeah, I agree with morality, I would say she's pretty dutiful. So I don't know how much more moral she could get, but so I'll put a 5.
I have no choice but to give her a 5 now.
Oh man, pressure's on.
Jay scratches out the 3 that he had originally thought.
Damn it.
Yeah, 5.
I'm actually gonna give her a 4, and I'll tell you why. There was a moment in film where she's like, I thought I was doing this for my father, but I don't know, maybe I was doing it for me. I wanted to prove to myself that I was different, that I could do this. So I don't think throughout the whole movie her motivations were completely pure. I think there was and not that this is bad, but there was a tiny bit of I'm doing this for me in there and prove to myself that I can do it. But in the process of that, she did lie to people and she earned trust of people and then destroyed that trust. So I've got to take a point off, but all of the other points are valid, that she did this for her father. Everything she did was due to her strong sense of family and love for her father and justice and what's right. So I'll give her 4.
So I might challenge you, though. I think I'm going to say sometimes it's okay to do things for yourself. There's nothing wrong or immoral of fighting a fight that you want to fight. Even though you're supposed to be doing it because of your father, like you can own it.
Right. But if you do something for yourself, but you end up hurting people in the process, that's not 100% okay.
Interesting. Deep.
I can kind of see that point. I guess the deception part, right? It's breaking some cultural rules. I think we're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe again that might speak to our own American individualism, which let's not get too far into, but because again that speaks into our cultural values, which then will dictate our what we consider our moral values. But I could see how that would maybe take a point off. I'm going to still stand by my 5, but I could see where you would come from on a 4.
Okay, Matthew, fashion sense. Lay it on me.
1. I'll give her a 1. Yeah. I mean, she's my favorite, and let's just be honest, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna give her a 1. She has to be dressed up to look pretty, really, as a value for the, she's dressed in armor most of the time. She's just more comfortable. I mean, and there's nothing against it. It's just you can't compare it to Belle. I mean, you just can't, right? So, 1.
Casey?
I kind of I agree. I don't know if I'd give her a 1. I'm going to give her like a 2, but I think she would take pride, right, in the fact that like she's not the fashion girl. Obviously we see her get gussied up a few times in the movie, and she's a beautiful young woman. But like, yeah, I agree with Matt. Like she's more concerned with the practical, and a lot of the time she's in armor. It looks great on her, but her goals and her desires and her values have nothing to do with fashion or looking good.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm also going to give her a 2. I mean, when she did dress up as a woman, she looked fine. She looked great. But the point, I guess, kind of the point of this is you don't have to always wear that princess dress, I think, to be a hero. You don't have, this is not every girl must do this. And yeah, that's kind of, she earned the hell out of that too. How about that?
I agree. That's a good way of putting it. Like, yeah, it's a 2 or a 1, but she's going to wear that with pride, and we give it to her with pride.
Yeah, I'd give her a 2 for the same reasons.
Andrea, singing. What do you rate Mulan singing?
Okay, so she She has little bits in some of the other songs, but really her only song is Reflection. No, I take that back. Honor to Us All, she sings a little bit. She sings in Girl We're Fighting For Her, but it's kind of a talk sing. Has a lovely voice. Similar to Fashion, though, singing's not really what she's about. Like some of the other Disney princesses, it's like, oh, they have such a beautiful voice and listen to them singing. Mulan has a nice voice, but she's not about the singing. She's about being clever and brave and loyal and all the things. So I'll give her a 3 for singing.
Casey?
Yeah. Fun fact, Leah Salonga is the one who sang for Mulan's Reflection song. She's also the voice of Jasmine.
Yes.
The singing voice of Jasmine. One of my favorite Broadway stars. She's just an incredible singer. I guess 3. Yeah, I mean, because she does the songs she sings, she does a great job, but she's not out there like belting away for any forest animals. So yeah, I'm gonna say 3, and again, good job.
Matthew?
Again, she is my favorite, and I give her a 2. I don't like the song Reflection, actually. She's not about the singing, Yep. But she's not a 1.
Yeah, that's why I too give her a 2. I did not care for Reflection. It'd be one thing if it were like a catchy song, but yeah, it didn't hit for me.
It's Reflections is I was kind of trying to think about my feelings on Reflections. I feel like it's a song that I should like more. Because the lyrics are good, it's meaningful. It's not a bad song. It's a pretty song. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's just not catchy enough.
Yeah. Okay, last category, X Factor. I'm going to give Mulan maybe a 4 for X Factor. Just because I'm counting Mushu and the Cricket tag team as a bang up X Factor. And I love that they have their own little storyline because they kind of realized, hey, the Cricket's like, man, I'm not really that lucky. Or Mushu goes, I'm kind of a fake. I'm faking this whole thing. And we get this really deep storyline, but they're also the most genuine sidekicks I think I've come across in a Disney movie so far. So I think I like both of those a lot, and they really aided Mulan, but not too much. So I'm gonna give it. Did I say 4? Yeah, 4.
What do you describe as X Factor? Because I'm ready to give her. If it's just the indescribable quality that makes something good, then I'm giving her a 5. But,
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Then in which case she's got a 5. This girl's awesome. Sincerely, she begins the process, in my opinion, of sort of like self-actualized princesses / Disney heroines, like female heroes, like Ariel. For Little Mermaid is just like a petulant child, and to compare, right, where kind of like the Disney princesses were, and then going up to Mulan, and I know there's steps in between there. You've got Belle, you've got Esmeralda. They become more and more empowered, but I just feel like Mulan is just the first one that just really embodies so much empowerment, and so I'm giving it a 5. She's awesome.
Great. Matthew?
5. Yeah, she's my favorite. And yeah, I don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said. She's definitely a 5. She's unique. She's a heroine who stands on her own. She doesn't need a man. She's clever. She's creative. She's cunning. The world's against her, and she still saves it. So.
I like it.
Yeah.
Finally, Andrea?
I think also a 5. Like, I'm thinking about this. She's got a very similar starting set of circumstances as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. She's kind of like an oddball in the town. father whom she loves, something bad happens to father, and she's got to self-sacrifice to save the father. The difference being Belle has self-sacrificed to live in a beautiful castle forever. Mulan has self-sacrificed to go to war and possibly die to save her father from that fate. Like, that is just completely amazing and badass. And then all of her, like, above and beyond, not just blending into the army and doing as best she can. She becomes a leader in this army. People are listening to her, and she's making decisions that save people. Like, all of that is truly, truly unique among the Disney princesses. Like, looking back at my childhood, picking a princess to try and emulate, it should have been Mulan. And so, yeah, for all those reasons, I give her a 5.
Rock and roll. Okay, guys. So on our end, Andrea has this computer. We're doing the craziest math that it can do. And we're going to get a princess score. And we will see how she stacks up with all the other princesses before her. And
she is tied with Jasmine for 3rd place.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think she's so much better than Jasmine, but that's just me. But I understand. She got dinged for fashion, and again, I feel like we should and singing, and I feel like we should give her a little asterisk because again, like that choice of foregoing fashion, to further her character and story, I think deserves a little asterisk that puts her above Jasmine. But I'm not running the algorithm.
Yeah.
So.
And if we were rating her on excluding fashion and singing, she would be in 1st place. Like, no doubt. There you go. Yeah, all the other categories, she by far beat the others.
So what is the princess list?
Huh?
From top to bottom.
Belle is 1st. Meg is 2nd. Jasmine and Mulan are 3rd. Ariel, Cinderella. And then further down are some of the others.
Yeah. Well, that's great. She did well.
She did well, yeah.
All right, guys, let's move forward to...
Here are true facts about
Mulan. So let's just do a quick rapid fire fun facts list and have some fun, The first Disney animated film to openly deal with warfare. Yeah, I knew. I kind of picked up on that.
Yeah. Casey, I think you mentioned Leah Salonga was the singing voice for Mulan, also the singing voice for Jasmine. The reason she was not the speaking voice of Mulan, I think she originally was cast as the speaking voice, but she had difficulty with kind of the deeper pitch when she's trying to impersonate a man.
Oh, interesting.
So they brought on another actress who could better nail that.
Well, and also to be probably to Disney's benefit, I believe it ended up being an Asian woman who was able to then voice, Mulan, which is, honestly, like probably the better way to go.
Yeah, they did a good job of actually casting Asian people to play Asian people for the most part, which...
Except Donny Osmond, but...
Well, as the singing voice.
So Mulan is one of only 2 Disney princesses to wear trousers, with the other being Jasmine from Aladdin.
Seriously?
Boom, boom.
They've got... It's interesting that, like, they did end up on your algorithm kind of tying.
I know.
They both were voiced, at least singing-wise, by Leah Salonga, and they both got to wear trousers.
Yeah. That's shocking to me. Seriously, no other Disney princesses wore pants.
Let's just keep an eye on it moving forward.
Elsa wears pants in Frozen 2.
Well, this fact could have been, written...
This could be an older list.
Yeah, okay. Movies keep coming out, but at the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Raya wears pants also.
We'll have to check. Do the pant test.
Pant test. Okay. The advisor to the emperor, Shifu, was played by James
sounds right.
Hong. He is famous for playing Mr. Ping in Kung Fu Panda, who, if you remember Kung Fu Panda, he was the main panda's father, the duck.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I can hear it now in my head.
Yeah, talking
same
about
voice.
making noodles and the noodle dream.
Bruce Willis was originally cast as Li Shang. I don't know which one Li Shang was.
That's the main heartthrob guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis.
Really?
That would have been weird.
Frank Welker. You've heard us, if you listen to the podcast, you've heard us talk about Frank Welker. He is kind of the all-purposes animal voicer for Disney. So he played Max in The Little Mermaid. He's played Marahute in Rescuers Down Under. He played Abu and Raja. He played the Cave of Wonders. Pretty much any like animal sounding characters he has done the voice for. And this movie's no exception. He was the voice of both the horse and the cricket in this movie.
Wow.
Frank Welker.
Little Brother is the third dog to be owned by a Disney princess, which Cinderella's dog Bruno being the first and Pocahontas' dog Percy in the sequel being the second.
Percy's not really her dog.
In the sequel.
What? Percy is her dog in the sequel? Huh.
So, funny name, Little Brother for a dog.
Little Brother.
I told Matt that I love how wonky, like the animation for Little Brother looks so different for some reason than all the other.
I know.
The other like animals and characters. Like it's sort of like they're like, let's make a dog. Okay, yeah, cool, I'm with you. But let's make it look really like kind of derpy. Okay, all right, yeah. and it works. It works. I love it.
Ooh, here's a fun fact. The Portuguese dub won a prize for the best foreign version.
Really?
Home run in Brazil.
Portugal.
I was gonna say I have one that I caught, which was Harvey Fierstein plays the voice of the short guy with the beard and because we were listening to it and I was like, is that a Harvey Fierstein?
Wow.
Like, I'm pretty sure I know this voice. And I looked it up. I was like, it is Harvey Fierstein.
Okay, I got one final fun fact.
Is it about Donny Osmond?
No.
Oh.
Sorry. But this is Walt Disney Animated Studios' last musical film to be released on VHS.
Oh.
I know.
End of an era.
End of an era. Okay, let's go to our final segment.
Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. Moral number 1. And the moral of today's story is...
Casey and Matthew, can you tell us the moral of Mulan?
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I think we talked a lot about the things before. I would say the moral of Mulan, what it teaches is that, sometimes to do the right thing, you have to break the rules, and it's not easy, but it's the right thing. I mean, what I love about Mulan is that she fails on her journey. But then she, at the end of the day, she makes a commitment to see it through. So I would say the moral is doing the right thing sometimes requires us to break the rules of society or those around us, and it comes with its own risks. But sometimes you just gotta do it and commit to it.
Very well said. Well, that, my friends, has brought us to the very end of the show. Casey and Matthew, I cannot thank you enough. You guys killed it. That was so fun to have you guys on.
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure to jump on with you guys.
Well,
thank you. Yeah,
that's great. because it's going to come knocking again. You can count on that. For all of those interested, our next show is going to be A Bug's Life. I know. Okay, well, until next time, have a great day.